grandfather's workshop, and I'm going to show you how to make a knife out of some things you might have lying around, like an old rusty bolt and a bit of scrap wood. Here's the knife I made earlier this week, and we're going to make something really similar today. The tools we're going to need is a hammer and a pair of vice grips, a hacksaw and a drill. The first thing you need to do is set your vice grips to the right size to fit around your bolt. Now that you've got your bolt in real tight, now we're going to start doing some work. First things first, safety. Ear protection, put your earplugs in, and eye protection. Sometimes you just got to take your helmet off and have a break, because this is hard work. After a short break and a cool drink, you got to get back to it. After about 15 minutes of banging away, you start to notice a difference in the shape. It's much flatter and wider. After just about beating myself to death, we're ready for the next step, shaping the blade. First we're going to draw a guideline that goes along here to show me where to cut with a hacksaw. It might look a little rough, but that's okay because it's a homemade knife and this edge is pretty straight anyway. So now we're going to do some cutting. Put it firmly in a vise with the guidelines facing me. So I've put a little notch in the top so I can get started nice and easy so the move is not too long. Safety first. I don't know about you, but I sure am sweating. And the next step is to take the file and file that little notch there off flat. Oops, I forgot rule number 1, safety. As long as you haven't hurt yourself, it's never too late to put on the goggles. Now that we've got our basic blade shape, we've got to take off this because this is the actual shaft that will actually attach to the handle. Back at it. After a rest, this is really physical work. Now it's time to make the handle. I'm going to draw a rough line of how long and what size I roughly want the shape. That looks about right. Let's get started cutting out this handle. I've left plenty of leftover, so I make sure that there's enough room for the shaft to go in completely. The next thing we're going to do is make a mark how deep we want our blade to embed into the handle. So you do that by putting your drill bit to the spot that you want it to go up to, and then getting your bit of chalk and making a mark on it. And as you're drilling, that will look like a line because it's moving so fast. I've got my knife blade firmly put in the vise with the shaft just sitting on top. And now we're just going to tap it in gently. You shouldn't worry about the holes around the edge of the blade because we're going to put glue and 2 wedges on either side in both of those little gaps there. I've got myself in a pretty comfy position here because there's gotta be a lot of carving. After about 20 minutes of kicking back in the armchair carving, you should have something that looks about something like this. Now that I've sanded it, you can really see the shape that I've made, and you really can hold it in the centre and get a really firm grip with these 2 notches on the outside here. Will prevent you from slipping either way too much. We're getting to the stage now where we are about to put a really good edge on the blade of the knife. So to do that, we're going to use an electric knife sharpener. I've already put my knife into the jig and I'm going to sharpen it on here. But of course, if you don't have one of these tools, you could sharpen it with an angle grinder, and you can hit it with a hammer, or you can use a sander. But today, I want to get this over and done with. Whoops. It's pretty hard to see, but I'm getting quite a good edge on it now, and now all I have to do now is a tip. Now that we've got the main edge done, it's time to use the steel to give it a smooth and sharp finish. We're ready to attach the blade into the handle, and we're going to do that with epoxy resin that I've already mixed up and a couple of wedges. Once you've got your holes well filled with epoxy resin, then you've got to put in the wedges. Now we're going to tap the wedges in with a hammer. Any excess epoxy resin can be sanded off once it's dried. After your resin has fully dried, you can cut off any excess part of your wedges with a hacksaw. After you've finished cleaning off all the resin, you can put on oil. I'm going to use Danish oil because it will do the job and it smells fantastic. Look how it deepens the colour and adds so much character to the knife handle. After a day of hard work, you've got the finished product, and I'm pretty happy with my product. I have a lot of fun and satisfaction making this out of nothing, really. I'm planning to give this one to my grandfather who's just turned 70. Bye. Thanks for watching my movie.